Well, that's it for the Rugby Championship. We've got a few games of Bunnings NPC to touch on if you got time, Smithy.
Yep, okay, run with it, boys, because I can talk about Hawke's Bay till the cows come home, as you say.
Well, speaking of Hawke's Bay, last Saturday, what were your takeaways in that game?
Well, funny you should say that. I was at a pub called the Rag and Famish in North Sydney on the corner, and I thought, how the hell am I ever going to be able to watch Hawke's Bay play? And I went and I saw the bloke behind the bar. He said, look, where are you sitting? I said, over there by the races, because already the Hawke's Bay races were on. He said, look, you sit by that TV and I'll see what I can do. And lo and behold, on Stan TV, he put it up, and there I had Hawke's Bay absolutely demolishing Southland. And every schooner that went down, it was just a joyous thing to behold. So that was my Saturday afternoon. It couldn't get any better than that, I promise you.
Did you find any winners at Hastings?
I found a couple of winners at Hastings, but Mark Waugh gave me a couple too to have a little look at over there, because along with he's with Kim training, of course, at Wyong. He had a winner during the week with a horse called Fielding, and then he had a couple with decent value at the weekend, which unfortunately for my friends, I just couldn't seem to be able to get through to them to pass them on.
Very hard to pass on a winner these days.
Oh, yeah.
So the Shield just stays in the bay over summer, does it?
Yeah. Well, hold the phone. Wellington, Tasman. Tasman got a good shot left in them. Oh, look, Wellington are a chance. I've seen Wellington. Wellington's so damn hot and cold. It's a hard game to read. But if Hawke's Bay aren't on their game, if they haven't brought some decent sort of clarity to their forward play, etc., Wellington's backline is very, very strong. It is. It simply is. So dangerous challenge, this one.
Yeah, I was pretty off Wellington a few weeks ago, but they've been pretty impressive the last few. They probably should have put more points on Otago, but they still got a pretty easy win in the end.
Well, that decision before halftime where they took the penalty and then turned it over and Otago scored. I mean, they were up 26-7 at that point. They could have just kicked it out, gone into the changing sheds, up 26-7. They don't. They turn it over. Otago score a try. They go in with a wee bit of momentum into halftime, 26-14 down. It sort of, it keeps them in the game. But they did enough to hold on. But Wellington have never been a very, very good Ranfurly Shield team, whether winning it or actually holding it. I think they share the record for the shortest Ranfurly Shield tenure. I think it's 7 days. Pick it up on the weekend, give it away the next weekend. Whereas Hawke's Bay are a proud Ranfurly Shield province. What was it, the 66 to around 69? They had a huge Shield reign then. They've held it for 14, I think, challenges so far in this tenure. They just look very, very, very tough at McLean Park. Their forward pack is solid. If I'm going to have a bet in a match, it's a bet on whoever's starting at hooker for the Magpies to score a try. Tyrone Thompson scored a hat-trick last week. I think Kiriru Symes has dotted down a number of times this year as well. They've got I think the culture that they set up when Ash Dixon was there has just allowed them to continue to progress and keep this reign going. So I don't know what Smithy said in answer to your question. It'll be there all summer. I'll tell you, it will be there all summer.
It's come from a Lions fan too.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was sort of it wasn't really. It was probably the biggest talking point from week 6 of the Bunnings NPC. But there was a few other games on. Waikato, too good for Auckland. Anyone liking the 450 on offer for Waikato in the outright market? They're looking pretty good.
You have to, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
They look like
Can't worry about odds on at the moment. Yeah. So
the best all-round team at the moment. I guess. Do they keep McKenzie for the whole of the season? Does he get called in at any stage?
Yeah. It'd be a big loss. He's been huge for them.
He has been. But they may get some other players back. Who knows? But at the moment, they do. They look. The only team that's taken points off them, funnily enough, Hawke's Bay.
There you go. Maybe Hawke's Bay is what we should be backing in the outright market. I think Canterbury and Waikato sort of look like the clear 2 front runners in the comp, but and Canterbury sort of showed that on. I know they're playing Northland, but it's been a pretty impressive Northland team, and they sort of put them to the sword and ended up being about a 30-point win.
Dunifar, very tough up at Seminoff.
Yeah,
look out.
Big game for them this week though, so we'll see. Wins for Bay of Plenty. Tasman keep their season alive with a win over Taranaki, and Wellington, Otago. We touched on that. Waikato Southland tonight to finish week 6 off. Waikato 18.5-point favourites. Is that too much for a midweek game, you reckon? Or?
Well, this is their storm week, and they've rested a number of players tonight.
Yeah.
So it's hard to line that up. I'm tempted to take the 18.5 Southland plus the 18.5. They just haven't really offered much, certainly away from down south. So I'm really tempted to take Southland plus 18.5 just because of the fact that Waikato have put in a slightly weakened team, but the players that come in have performed. Those who are the hyphenated boys at the back there? They were fantastic last weekend. And I like the, was it Ratima? He's been very, very good as well when he's played. So it's very tough to bet against Waikato. So I'll probably just have a few little try-scorer bets to be fair myself.
Yeah, it could be a good game for that. Can't tempt you in the plus 18.5 for Southland, Smithy?
No, I'd like to think that you could, but I don't really think so. I just wonder, it gets harder and harder as the season goes on for the sides who have less depth and less quality depth. So, on the back of a flogging last week, there won't be as bad a flogging, but I'd be very interested in just taking the minus from Waikato, the minus 18.5 or that margin anyway, and getting them in tonight. I think that would be the way I'd be going. Yeah.
Could be a fun one, to cheer home. I can see that Waikato backline having a bit of a field day. Round 7 gets underway on Friday night at Yarrow Stadium, with Taranaki hosting Manawatu. Can Manawatu finally get their first one of the season, Paul?
I'm going to say no.
But the bookies don't think so, because I think the Manawatu are paying about $5.50.
Yeah, they're another team. They're sort of like the Southland of the North Island. Unfortunately, they really have struggled all weekend. They just haven't. At the beginning, it sort of, if you looked at the squad, you thought, oh, this may be a team that might be able to cause an upset here or there. They just haven't been able to put it together. And although they meet a Taranaki side that are also without some big players, I think Taranaki at Yarrow Stadium will just have a wee bit too many guns.
Yeah, you'd have to think so, wouldn't you? Smithy, not tempted in taking the plus there?
Well, much as I'd like to give your old colleague Steph some hope, I can't. But I will say it's pretty close to a local derby, and sometimes those things provide a little bit of extra incentive for the underdog. So Yarrow Stadium, beautifully rebuilt Yarrow Stadium. I think Taranaki will be too strong. Manawatu, as they quite often are, will be in the game for about 50 to 60, and then I think it'll start to tell. But maybe a bit closer than people think.
Yeah, it does seem like a big line for Taranaki, being that they haven't been overly convincing this year, but maybe this could be the opportunity. I think I'll be having a wee go at the plus in that game, and maybe Taranaki 1-12 could be not a bad bet. Counties hosting Canterbury. Counties $4.60 in the head-to-head market. Counties have been pretty good at home this season. Anyone tipping an upset here, or Canterbury will just roll on and be too good?
Canterbury too good for mine. Counties will be missing Papali'i as well. But Canterbury have probably been the equal second best team in the comp, I think, behind Waikato.
Yeah.
And the system they have down there is just too good for this Counties lot, who have, as you say, put on some good performances there at home, but they just won't have enough gas for this Canterbury team. They are
13 plus for me as well, on the same basis, is that we're getting to the second half of the season very much so. Sides like Canterbury just seem to get better, don't they? And get more professional and more thorough under their new coaching staff. And I kind of think that this is a 13 plus feel for me too.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think they sort of like that showed in that Northland game last week. There was a bit of a rap on Northland. They were playing some good footy, and they just keep them at arm's length the whole time. They end up running away with that, a couple of late tries, but yeah, it's about 30-point win there. So I can see, yeah, similar. And I might even look at some alternative point starts, some minus maybe 20.5, maybe 24.5, just to go along with that to make the game a bit more exciting. Here we go, the main event, Saturday night. Ranfurly Shields on the line, Hawke's Bay, Wellington. Wellington looking to win it for the first time since 2008, I think. They've had a few challenges in that time. They've already challenged once against Hawke's Bay a few years ago, and I think Hawke's Bay played them off the park there. And Hawke's Bay won the last 2 against Wellington. Did Hawke's Bay just win, Paul?
Yeah, they do. I'm having a look now. Take the $1.80, $1.62 on Hawke's Bay to win that game. I think that's a gift. I know Wellington have had a wee bit of a resurgence over the last 2 or 3 weeks. They won't be a match for this Hawke's Bay team. I really like the look of the Magpies. They look very, very good. They're my best bet of the weekend. Hawke's Bay, $1.62.
Love that.
Ooh, love
tell
it.
us why Hawke's Bay win.
Love your confidence there. Hey, I haven't seen the final teams for this game, but what a feisty little number 9 battle we're going to have there. TJ Perenara.
Yeah.
Brad Weber, possibly the 2 unlucky guys to be left out of the All Black frame all of a sudden. Aren't they going to enjoy the big stage? So I think that'll be a good little battle within itself. I think the class and the combinations of and the consistency of Hawke's Bay, I think, will probably prevail at McLean Park. There will be a big crowd. Of course, there'll be a really big crowd because the All Blacks, are playing tomorrow night, so the weekend's free for domestic rugby fans. So I think that's one that Hawke's Bay fans have put a circle around. So probably 7,000-8,000 people on a traditional challenge there. And I think that'll be enough to get them home. But I think Wellington will be in it for a long, long way. And let's be fair, fellas, apart from the Southland game, there have been some very, very nervous defences this year. Drawn matches, very, very close games. 1 point, 2 point. They haven't done it on the bit, to be fair, Hawke's Bay, and I'm not thinking Wellington are going to do them too many favours, but I think they'll prevail, Paul. You're right, yeah.
Yeah, I think with both those games, Hawke's Bay kind of got off to big leads. There's close games. So Hawke's Bay got off to big leads, didn't they? And then they sort of just maybe fell asleep at the wheel a little bit and
cruised a wee bit. Yeah.
Counties and what was the other one?
North Harbour.
North Harbour, yeah, sort of let them back in the game. But so I wouldn't be surprised to see that again. But yeah, I can't back that Wellington team. As I said, they've been playing some good footy, but I think that the Hawke's Bay will be too strong. They turn up for these chill games, and I think that they'll once again take the points there. One more game I wanted to talk about: Northland versus Harbour, which is surprisingly a very exciting game and could have some consequences for the competition. Northland currently 3rd in the odds pool, with Harbour 4th, but Northland have played 1 less game as well, so they're in the box seat to really cement a spot and in that top 4 and book their spot in the quarterfinals with a couple of rounds to go. The bookies are struggling to split them, $1.90 and the match result market for Northland and $1.92 for Harbour, so expecting to be close. Personally, Northland at home, I'm loving this Northland team, and I'm going to get on them. Are you following me in?
Huge ramifications on the outcome of this game in terms of who does or doesn't make the quarterfinals.
Tasman fans will be watching it closely.
They will be watching it very, very intently. But I don't know if Smithy knows, we had a number of season power plays at the beginning of the season, and one of them was Southland or Northland to make the quarterfinals, and it was paying $21. And a number of punters jumped on and forced the price in, I think, to around $12, and then I think it actually closed at around $8. So a number of tickets are out there on Northland making the quarterfinals. They're now, as you say, they're in 3rd place in their conference.
Game ahead.
A game, and they're a point ahead of North Harbour and Tasman, and they've got a game in hand. This is huge for Northland. They win this one, they can almost certainly book their place in the quarters, because their final game of the season against Manawatu up at Seminoff. So huge. I'm sure these boys will get up for this game. They've played very, very well at home. The crowd will be there. They'll give them a huge lift. And look, North Harbour haven't been shabby, as we've seen in the Shield Challenge. They almost took it off Hawke's Bay, and they played very, very well themselves. I just like the way this Northland team plays especially at home. So I'm happy to have a little few dollars on them, and good luck to those punters who got on the power play at the beginning of the season.
Paul Moati included. You got to lean in this game, Smithy?
Yeah, I'm with Paul on this because I think George Cornier has done a really good job with this side. They're playing for the right reasons. They're playing no fear rugby. You know, they're not playing like cellar dwellers. You can see their attitude there as one that they can live with anybody on their day. And this is a local derby of tradition, not a deep tradition, because North Harbour still are relatively new on the provincial front. But certainly, I see this as one that George Cornier and his team would have said, we can get this. We can honestly, this is the one, and this before they struck I think the purple patch of form that they've got. They're playing really good rugby. They're playing confident rugby. They back themselves. They've got that lure, of course, of creating a little bit of the unexpected with the playoffs and the quarterfinals. And they have that wonderful stadium up there, which is a really cool ground to go to and watch rugby. But they create an atmosphere when they believe their team's a chance. North Harbour have got a real challenge to drive up State Highway 1 for 2.5, 3 hours on the bus. They've got a lot to think about. That won't be easy. I'm backing Northland to win that game, and I wouldn't be surprised if they win it quite comfortably.
Oh.
Yeah, I love that. I think, who would have known at the start of the season that Northland would be putting up such a fight? You talked about that power play, Paul, and I remember you talking it up, but it was Southland that you guys liked, wasn't it?
Look, it doesn't matter why you take the bet; it's just as long as you take the bet.
You're playing that. Oh no, you've. I was steering clear of that power play. So if you were on that, if you're one of those guys that got on at $21, you'd be feeling pretty all right. And depending on the result of this weekend,
Northland are paying $4.40 to win by 13 and over this weekend. $4.40.
I know that because it might feature in my bets for the weekend.
Beautiful.
So speaking of bets for the weekend, we might as well get to it. Our betting plan for the weekend. Start off with the best bet, Paul.
Hawke's Bay, $1.62.
Oh yeah, you said that, Paul, didn't you? Yes, mate, I don't know if you had much of a chance, but was there anything you really like?
I think if I look across the board, to add the value to it, Argentina. Head to head, Argentina.
Oh, and the NPC, I mean?
Oh, sorry, on the NPC. Okay, let me think about this. To make it Canterbury 13+. There you go. Red and Blacks 13.
Lovely. Mine's Canterbury minus 14.5. So that's me. My value bet is Northland 13+ at $4.40. Oh.
Northland 1-12 at $2.90.
Smitty, any value you like? Either of those ones?
Wow. Okay. I'd say here's the value one. Taranaki 1-12. There you go. I think Manawatu will push them. Taranaki 1-12.
Yeah, I don't mind that. There'd be a bit of value on offer there as well, I imagine.
Yeah, Taranaki 1-12, $3.20.
Anyone you got circled for score a try?
I do. That's for me upset bet though, because I couldn't find a team that I really liked to cause an upset this weekend. So I've just taken Cortez Ratima to score a try. It's paying $3.
Oh, there you go. Is that tonight?
Yes.
Yeah. I've got Brad Weber. You talked before about the battle of the halfbacks in that Shield Challenge. I think he scored 2 or 3 weeks in a row. He did it for me last week, so I'm on him to score again. Anyone in particular, Smithy, you reckon going to cross over in the NPC?
Having not absolutely seen the squads, I'll take Connor Garden-Bishop to score a try for Wellington. I rate Connor Garden-Bishop as a footballer, so if he's starting, Connor Garden-Bishop to score a try in the Shield Challenge.
Will he do it with his hand inside or outside the...
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as it's included on the score sheet. Yeah, you'll get your winnings.
Even he was surprised.
Upset alert! I've got Tasman. I think against Auckland could be a bet at $3.
Yeah, they've gone up there before, and
you didn't like any upsets.
Not really. No,
it's a hard one, isn't it? Any upsets you like, Smitty? I've obviously got Tasman at $3. You got Counties $4.60, Manawatu $5.25, Southland tonight $6, Wellington $2.30. It's quite a hard one for upsets, really.
I'll be upset if my first beer tonight's not cold when I get to the boozer after being in Australia for for 10 days. It's my biggest upset. No, no. Honestly, I can't really pick too many upsets, to be honest, because as I say, if Northland is regarded as an upset, I'm all over that like a rash. But that to me it's a good bet. So no, I couldn't tip with honesty an upset this weekend.
And what's going on all your multis, Paul?
Well, it will be the starting hooker for Hawke's Bay
To score a try.
to score a try. I don't care which one it is. Doesn't matter.
I've just got Hawke's Bay head-to-head, $1.62.
Okay, beautiful. I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. I have to go in all my multis Canterbury plus 13.
Yeah, I love that. I think, as I said, that's my best bet. They're minus 14.5. I think they'll do it and do it very, very easily. All good. Nothing else anyone wants to bring up before we call it in for this week?
Well, I think it would be neglectful of us if we didn't ask Smithy a cricket question while we had him here. We have to, and he's been in the midst of the action over the Chapel Hadley series, and Trent Boult, who picked up 4 wickets in each of the first 2 ODIs and a couple more in the second one, and helped Finch into retirement. How good was he? And is he respected by the Aussie commentators over there?
Love him, absolutely love him. They are so happy that he's playing in the Big Bash this year, because it's going to add to the quality of he's playing for the Melbourne Stars. They're thrilled that he's going to be there. They are disappointed that he's not going to be part of a New Zealand Test squad ongoing, because they realise that he's one hell of a bowler, and the partnership between him and Southey was one of the best we've ever had, probably the best. And I go back to Hadley and Chatfield, Hadley and whoever. But I think this one now on combined wickets is the most devastating we've had in all conditions. So Trent Boult is seriously regarded around the world of cricket. I'm not sure how hard New Zealand cricket tried to get him in terms of the financial side of things, whether they really sat around the table and said, let's manage your plan around your family, etc. But he's a massive loss, and I would imagine absolutely gutted that, one, he had to bat so often in that series, and 2, he came out on a losing team after his wonderful performances. His record against Australia is second to none, anyone opening the bowling in one-day international cricket. Something like 40 wickets now in 15 games. I mean, no one does that against Australia in one-day cricket. He has. Phenomenal player, sorely missed. Gonna be, I'm sorry.
So with him missing, from my point of view, there doesn't seem to be an out-and-out someone putting their hand up and going, I'm ready to take his place. How do you see it, Smithy? Who's next cab off the rank?
Well, I hope it's someone like Ben Sears, Paul, someone we haven't seen yet, or Kyle Jamieson finds a new lease of life and gets back to what he was. Because if we don't have that, I can't see it. Matt Henry is going to be a consistent performer for us. He's going to have his days, but he's not in the same bracket. And Tim Southey's going to need a lot of help because he's not getting any younger. So I hope it's yet to be unfolded, our superstar. I'd like to think Lockie Ferguson could play all forms of the game. Not that confident about that. I'm not sure how fit he is. So it worries me. Adam Milne is another one. We've got them in patches. We need to sew them all up together to create one. We've got them in bit parts, but we need to put them all together, get them into the factory and say, right, tune him into him, and then we'll come up with a world-class performer. We need a Hazelwood, we need a Stark, because otherwise we're just going to be coming second to that bloody team in yellow on a regular basis.
Yeah, it was pretty painful to watch, in particular that second game. I can only imagine what it was like in the com box next to the likes of Keir O'Keefe and Junior Orr and
O'Keefe sounds like a great guy.
Oh yeah, you gotta love it.
Terrific guy, very funny man. I'll tell you what he is. He loves rugby. He's very, very he's very, very up on the All Blacks, and I'm not sure he's not going to this test because it's in Melbourne, but he's keen on the rugby. Don't you worry about that. He watches a lot of it.
Well, maybe we'll try to get him on the podcast one week.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
We're just saying, can you tell us a story, Kerry? And then There's the podcast for us.
Yeah, just mention my name. He'll be on tomorrow. Don't worry.
Oh, fantastic.
Anyway, really cool in there. Thanks everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed their a few little cricket questions in the at the end there. And if anyone's got any hot takes, drop into the comments on YouTube about who you think could take Trentpot's place. But thanks for listening. Thank you very much, Smithy. It's been a pleasure to have you on. We'll hopefully hear you on the sidelines in the next few weeks. Are you going to be at the Eden Park game?
Yeah, I'll be there at Eden Park. So I'll just sign off by saying punt well, collect off.
Cheers, Smithy.
Make the boys in the TAB shirts hurt. Make them hurt. Cheers, boys.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week on the Pick and Go podcast.